Hey everybody, this is Bobby once again, and we're going to be going over CorelDraw X7 for engraving purposes. We're going to be doing alignment and distributing. These are two basic tenets of doing plaque layouts, or at least layouts and engraving purposes. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to select the text tool. Now, if you're going to notice, let's say presented to Joe Blow. Let's fix his name. And then we're going to put our body in here. Now, if you notice, the presented to Joe Blow is left justified. For most plaques, we're going to be doing center justified for all this stuff. Now, I like to have this set up for center justified all the time. So we're going to build on our preferences and save those preferences as we go. So one thing we're going to have is we're going to fix this. So I had to click off it, and then I click the text, and I can change it to center justified. But I want this to do this all the time. So if I click on the text, and before I type anything, I go to center justified, it's going to say, do you want to make this the default? And I say yes. So now we do paragraph text is not what we're doing right now. We're doing autistic text. So I'm going to say, yes, I want it for autistic text, and say OK. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to save the settings as default. Now, when you save the settings as default, everything that you have set up right now for this layout will be default forever. You can adjust it again as time goes on, but you want to kind of keep the defaults to default. So if I click on this, then 12 points going to be always the same, Arial is going to be the same, center is going to be the same, etc., 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 which is fine. I'll do that for right now. So let's save the settings as default, and then next time I click on and start typing the body, in grateful appreciation for your hard work. Oops. Work. And then we'll have the closing. From your friends. Boy, oh boy. So that's my 3 lines. And we'll put a fictional circle here. Now again, you see how it's wobbly. I want a circle. So I hold Control. That constrains it to an actual circle. And I let go. Now, we're not even close to being justified or centered. So here's my little tricks. We're going to set up a couple of buttons up here that are already set up for you, but I'm going to show you how to set up these hot keys that are going to make it a lot easier for you, because there's a couple of them that you use over and over and over. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to customization, and I'm going to make a new command bar. And so I made mine, I called it Salvo. So we're going to make another one. We're going to turn it on, and then we're going to go, and now when I turn, I'm going to delete that. Let's just start a fresh one. And another fresh one. Okay, so I'm going to create a new one, and you see it popped up around here. I could take that and I'm going to add in my new commands. So I go to commands, and I can add in whatever I like. So let's say new from document. I drag that up and put it in there. You see that little gray bar that comes up. That means it's going to enter in there. I can add as many as I want. So the ones I want are going to be, I'm going to show all on my distribution and alignment ones. I'm going to scroll down and find the ones I want. Now, you can do a bottom, center. That's one we're going to use for engraving. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to drag it up here and make sure that gray line comes up, and it'll add it in there. If you don't put that in there, it's just going to add it somewhere else, and you don't want it there. And vertical, that's another one. We're also going to do, we're going to look down a little further. Alignment guides. We're going to look for D. I think it's distribute. Here we go. Distribute horizontal. Sorry, no spacing. I want. Here it is. Spacing horizontally. I drag that one up. Make sure it goes in there. And vertical in there. Another one I want to do is to the page. Well, you're going to see it here. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to say OK. And you're going to see these two right here, which is going to be centered to page horizontally, and you're going to add this one centered to page vertically. All right, I do not need this one because this is already up here. And you notice how they're not highlighted up here because there's nothing that's selected. So I'm going to swipe all this stuff, and now you see all of them come up. So let's set my parameters. I want it to be centered to the page, and I want to know the top and bottom. So I'm going to say this circle is going to represent my top of my page. This is going to be the bottom of my page. I'm going to highlight all of them. I'm going to center them horizontally, I'm sorry, and then I'm going to distribute them evenly. And there they are. The spacing between this and this is the same as this, Very handy. We want to distribute all these things around. So now if I add, let's say, a breaker in here, let's say some type of piece in here, and I take this, and here's a little trick for you. I slide this down and then right click. You see how there's a little plus next to my cursor. That means I'm going to add onto that. We'll go into this a little later on when we have to do multiple additions, but that's a nice easy way of doing it. So now I want to select off the piece, grab them all, and once again distribute. The parameter is going to be the top of the circle to the bottom of the friends. That's how it's going to distribute the spacing. So there's a basic plaque layout using no logos, just some squares and circles to represent what we're doing here. But you can understand the alignment and distributing of this. If I was to make this bigger, again, here's another little trick. If I grab this corner, it's going to bring it out whichever way I pull it. Okay, I'm going to undo that just so we can see. If I hold Shift, I'm going to hold the center and go out from center. Saves a step there. That is nice. So I'm going to, again, grab this whole thing and distribute the centers, and you see how everything redistributes to where we want it to. So with all that being said, stay tuned for the next one. We're going to be doing more. Thanks.